Text about like, is this a proposal or a surprise birthday party? So I mean, anyway, so I've tried to play it off a surprise birthday party. But anyway, so Ellison is working at Fringe, and so she's supposed to be done at 6 o'clock, right? So I'm like, Daniel flew into town earlier today, and Mallet drove up, and so we were literally like just out at the pool, just hanging out, and we've been there for a while. And
I thought he had like this.
While Ellison was working, yeah.
Whoa.
So anyways, while we were out at the pool, I think it's like 3:15, 3:30, I get this text message from Ellison like, hey, instead of leaving at 6, I'm gonna leave at 5:15. I'm kind of tired, so I'm like, all right, that's fine. You know, we can deal with that. We'll just leave right now and go. So we ended up coming back here and started. You know, I just took a shower and kind of straightened up the house a little bit, and started. After I took my shower, I was just, you know, in my underwear, and so I brought all my stuff down here and started ironing.
Another reason.
It gets funny.
Oh, not much funnier than that.
Literally, as the ironing, I don't know what time this is. It's probably. Is that like 4:15?
Yeah,
say?
4:15.
Whatever. And so Daniel comes down these stairs and he's on the phone and he's on the phone with Laura. He's like, Tyler, I'm on the phone with Laura. And he said Ellison just left. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. There's no way this show. She would not leave until 5:15. I told her to call me. And so sure enough, like I just run upstairs and I get on the phone with Laura and Laura's like, yeah, Tyler, she told me that she just left. I don't know. And so I get off the phone and I like run upstairs and look at my phone and like I see this text message 10 minutes ago that said, hey, I'm headed home now, yada yada yada. And so, you know, I got this big plan. I ordered like 144 candles, like got rose petals all waiting on. I mean nothing, yeah. So, I get upstairs, I see this, I'm like, oh my gosh, so I tell Daniel, I'm like, grab everything.
Poor Daniel.
And just run downstairs, like shirt and jacket, like shoes and socks in my hand, belt, and just get in the car.
He did put his pants on.
We head over there, and Daniel's literally holding the wheel the entire time, and I'm driving, like, we're not going to make it, she's going to see us, we're not going to make it, yada, yada, yada. And so we end up getting there, and by the time I get there, I'm like fully dressed, you know, and so I go into the house and I'm just like frantically like opening up this box trying to set out all these candles and stuff. And I'm like, she's gonna be here any second. And so I'm like, Daniel, you just start lighting the candles and I'm gonna look out the window and make sure she's and so I'm just like,
pick up the rose petals.
So we didn't get to get the petals. Anyways, but Laura ended up calling us and like
I had turned on my street already.
Well, no.
Laura calls me.
Laura
Seriously?
passed
That
us
close?
as
Oh
we
my
were
gosh.
just pulling up, and so we called Laura, and Daniel was like, "Is there any way you can stall her?" And she was like, "Yeah, I got it." So anyways, it bought us a little bit of time because Ellison, I think like at the time that we had just set out all the candles, not lit anything, and I don't have my jacket, you know, just whatever. I hadn't thought about what I was going to say or anything. You know, like, well, Ellison turned onto the street. She turned onto the street. And so anyways, Laura, during this time, called her and was like, me and Ryan are about to go.
Already. And Laura calls and is crying on the phone and was like, Ellie, I'm on my way to the airport, and Ryan and I something happened. I need you to come here right now. I'm like, what happened? She's like, Ryan and I have been arguing a lot. I don't know if I should go to Missouri because she's in Missouri or flying there right now.
Oh.
And so I was like, okay, I'll be there. And she's like, meet me in Preston Center. So I drove up to Preston Center, got out, got in her car, and she is like sobbing, with like tears like dripping.
What a good friend. Because she's laughing so hard.
And by this time, I'm just like, thank you, Laura, so much.
She really does.
So Laura was like, Ryan said he never wants to move to Texas. And we talked about like having similar goals in like relationships and all this stuff. She didn't even go. And so she went. So then I called her after it happened. And she's like, yeah, me and Ryan are great. I was like, he still wants to move to Texas.
So anyways, this whole day I just been lying to Ellison. I told her that I was like in Irving helping a client do something with some corporate meeting, yada yada yada, whatever. And so anyways, this is like Ellison and I had just spoken probably 45 minutes earlier, and I was like, yeah, I'm in Irving. We're about to go and just have a meeting, whatever. And so.
But while I was in the car with Laura, I saw Tyler's truck drive by.
Because while I was
That'd be you.
I was like, Daniel, we got some time, so go to Walgreens, go buy some flowers, and some rose petals or something. And so Daniel went back to Walgreens, I guess, whenever he did that.
No, she thought it was Tyler.
She saw the truck, but she didn't see that I was like driving or whatever.
So I didn't see Daniel. I was like, oh, Tyler must be done with his.
So literally, like as she was like driving over to her house, she called me and she was like, "Hey, are you going to?" And something I knew that something happened. She was like, "Hey, are you going to my house?" And I was like, "No, I'm just I just left early. There was something."
No, I'm just thinking of another lie to tell you.
And I left early and I'm just driving home right now. And then I'm like on the phone with her and she's like trying to talk to me. And I'm like, yeah. And like I like literally see her pull and drive and I was like, okay, yeah, well I'm about to be home and
I said, where are you? You don't sound like you're in the car.
I just said I was on like Northwest Highway and like that's a very long ways from my house. I was like, yeah, I'm about to be home. I'll talk to you soon. And I just hung up the phone.
Then I walked in and there he was.
Was he already on his knee?
No.
So how did you propose?
Yeah, come on. This is a good part. This is fun.
Did either of you remember what he said?
We thought it wasn't very long and drawn out. I talked for a little bit, just about Ellison being the one that God has made for me and the one that I know He wants me to spend the rest of my life with. And so after that, I did the whole thing. And she was looking crying. I was like, I'm the one that's like. And she was just like, she's just so happy, and she's like, I think I'm in shock.
I absolutely had no idea. And I feel like we figure out a lot of things. So I had absolutely no idea.
She does.
Well, and I loaded it, and
They're all whispering in the background.
well, and like Angela called my mom today, and I was like, who's Angela calling? And my mom listened to her message, and she was like, oh, she just wanted to make sure that you got the text message from her birthday. I just believed everything. I can't believe it, because normally I don't. Everything.
Did you get it? It was so long, and it went over to multimedia, and this is not the appropriate time to say I don't know how to use my cell phone, but go ahead.
Thanks for coming. Until he opened the door, I didn't even think anybody was going to be here, because he said, let's not be on our phones the whole time we're with our parents at dinner, and I was like, all right. And
Well, thanks a lot.
Did y'all happen to blow the candles out before you left?
That's a good question.
As Tyler